The Italian Grand Prix has come and gone. Ferrari win, and we have a new champion. So before we talk about all that, about everything that happened across the Italian Grand Prix weekend, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's officially talk now about the Italian Grand Prix, where Ferrari reigned supreme. Obviously, firstly, we'll look at qualifying quickly. As you can see, Lando Norris took pole in the McLaren again, third time in 4 races he's taken pole, ahead of his teammate Oscar Piastri in second. It was almost 2-2. George Russell was third in the Mercedes, both Ferraris, and Lewis Hamilton kind of ruined it there, and both Red Bulls stinking up the place in 7th and 8th, and Albon and Hulkenberg completing the top 10. Good results for them. And going down and see Alonso, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Gasly, Ocon. We'll talk about Magnussen later on. Then comes Tsunoda, Stroll, Franco Colapinto on debut, obviously replacing the fired Logan Sargent. Was 18th. Should have been a lot better. Obviously, this is his first qualifying to let him off, but could have done a lot better if he didn't make that mistake. And then you had both Saubers once again at the back of the pack, struggling in 19th and 20th. In terms of the race, obviously, as you can see, Charles Leclerc wins the Italian Grand Prix. Ferrari's 20th win at Monza, I believe. I believe it's the 20th. I know it's a big number, that's for sure. Beating the two McLarens. Once again, McLaren getting outsmarted. How are you getting outsmarted by Ferrari? That just happened. McLaren are the new Ferrari, by the way. The amount of races McLaren thrown away because of strategy this year is insane. That is why they're not going to win the Drivers' Championship. I'll tell you that now. Yes, once again, easy should be a 1-2 at the back, and they throw it away on strategy. Leclerc doing out a one-stop, second win of the year after Monaco. So Leclerc winning his home race and Ferrari's home race. Pretty fitting, to be honest. Oscar Piastri, who dominated the race for the most part, ended up in second in the McLaren. Once quicker than Norris, took the lead off start. Norris once again throwing the way off the lead. And looked like he was going to win, and then, yeah, just strategy didn't work out. He ended up 2.5 seconds behind. Lando Norris, messy race for him, really. A couple of mistakes, lost the lead off the start. No, didn't really have the pace of his teammate at third place. Got a fast lap at the end, though, so that's at least something to take from it. Complete the podium. Carlos Sainz in his final race for Ferrari at Monza, finishing in 4th. Did the best he could, really. Lewis Hamilton, 5th on Mercedes. Again, Mercedes was just a bit slow this weekend. Max Verstappen down to 6th. That was the best he could do. Red Bull were just nowhere all weekend. Nowhere again for Red Bull. 6th place. This is getting worse and worse for Red Bull. George Russell, after begin the damage on lap 1, ended up recovering to 7th, ahead of Sergio Perez, who finished in 8th. Yeah, just pretty much Ferrari McLaren top 2, then really after the Red Bulls and Mercedes. Alex Albon finished in 9th, best of the rest in 9th in the Williams case of a couple of points. Once again, Williams scoring points at Monza. And Kevin Magnussen getting the final point in 10th. Did finish the race in 9th, but has 10-second time penalty for contact with Gasly. Dropped down to 10th, and that's crucial because he now have 12 penalty points, which means Kevin Magnussen will be missing the Azerbaijan Grand Prix because of a race suspension. So the first driver to ever hit the 12-point mark, and as a result, he will be missing his final Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So he's already taken part in his final Baku race. So yeah, disappointing for Magnussen, not what he would have wanted. So the question now, who's going to replace Kevin Magnussen? Obviously, the obvious choice is Oliver Behrman. As long as they get the approval for Ferrari, he would most likely drive for them in Azerbaijan. If not, obviously the other reserve driver, Pietro Fittipaldi, he's busy in IndyCar for the final weekend. So if he's not available, then I don't know who they're going to go with. My guess, I'm still backing Oliver Behrman. Obviously, if it is Behrman, especially with him driving for him next year, then obviously Behrman needs to be replaced with F2 for the weekend. But I'm backing Oliver Behrman as things stand. But yeah, after getting a great point, it's all for nothing. Yeah, you got a point, but you got a penalty. You're missing the next race. Was it worth it? So at this point for Magnussen, but at least he got a point, so that's something at least. Ahead of Fernando Alonso, finished 11th. That's just where Aston Martin were once again terrible. Franco Colapinto, give a round of applause for Colapinto, 12th on debut. 25 seconds behind his teammate, so not too bad. Pretty good, solid weekend. 12th for him. Already had a Bottas in the championship. Yeah, not last at all. So yeah, great starts for Colapinto. And yeah, Daniel Ricciardo, 13th for RB. RB just nowhere. Ricciardo getting 2 penalties. One for contact with Hulkenberg, that one. And then the other for not serving the penalty correctly because the front mechanic touched the front wing. And that's a no-no. So yeah, disappointing for Ricciardo. Pretty much his whole team screwing him over there, to be honest. And then yeah, I don't know how he also lost a lot of time on the last lap. I think he may have had an issue at the end. And yeah, both Alpines, Ocon and Gasly just chilling. That's Alpine with nowhere. Bottas, Sauber again chilling. 16th, there's nowhere. Nico Hulkenberg obviously was in the wars today. Contact with obviously Ricciardo like 1 had damage, and contact with Tsunoda. 17th, so yeah, the whole race to get Hulkenberg did Joe Guanyu doing just Joe Guanyu things to chilling. A lot of Stroll went for a failed fastest lap attempt, pretty much. You know, he was running 15th anyway, so it wasn't going to change anything. But he went for a fast lap and was nowhere near it, so yeah, not good for Stroll. And then yeah, Yuki Tsunoda as the only retirement from the race after getting punted off by Hulkenberg. As you can see, it was on like lap 2 or 3. But then yeah, that was a side pod, and that was that. So yeah, disappointing for Tsunoda, his second DNF of the year after China back in April. So yeah, disappointing for Tsunoda. And yeah, obviously Verstappen leads by around 2 points, is it? I think ahead of Norris now with 8 races to go. So that gap is coming down more and more. In terms of constructors, only McLaren closing the gap with Red Bull, but Ferrari are now in that battle. So you could have McLaren v Ferrari for the championship, especially if Ferrari could keep this pace up going for the rest of the season. Maybe it's also straightforward for McLaren in terms of the Constructors' Championship. They have to deal with Ferrari. Red Bull could end up third in the end, which would be an absolute shocker. But that's just where the car has ended up. I mean, how many people would have said back in Bahrain that Red Bull would end up being third in the championship? Like, that is ridiculous. They were like, oh, here we go, Verstappen's going to win every race, to third in the championship for Red Bull. Fall off needs to be studied, honestly. But yeah, good race, especially the end. The second half of the race was very good. First half is your standard boring first half, but the second half was good. And yeah, the tension at the end of whether Leclerc was going to do it or not was good. And you said you can't go wrong with a Ferrari win at Monza. It's just meant to be, and it does mean you get 2 doses of the Italian national anthem, the best anthem in the world. And if you're saying it's not the best anthem in the world, then you're just biased, because it is. Simple as that. Then move on to F2. Obviously, F2 racing this weekend, and we'll start with the sprint race. As you can see, Oliver Behrman, speaking of Behrman, ended up winning the sprint race very comfortably. He ended up starting like 6th or 7th. Ended up winning the race. There was a bit of drama up front. We ended up getting the win in the end, pretty comfortably. He had his second win of the year. Second both in the sprints. The other was at somewhere. Where was his other win? No, it wasn't Britain. No, it was Hungary. What was that? Austria, maybe? Hungary? Around there. It was around that period of time. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, he ended up getting the win. And he, as I said, his second win of the year. Move up to 14th in the championship, which just sums up how bad Behrman's season has been. It's going to continue because he's going to most likely miss the next round, so he's going to drop even further down. So, yeah, just sums up for Behrman, but still a win nonetheless. Obviously, Ferrari Jr. Just works out even better for him. Ahead of Victor Martin second, his second place in 5 races, obviously, at that point. It's a good race, podium, can't go wrong with that. And then you had Joshua Dirksen, third for AIX, the Joshua Dirksen rocket ship, as he's been known now. Considering how quickly he was on the straight, he was miles ahead, that's the quickest driver on the straights. Way ahead of everybody else. And as a result, got a well-deserved podium, his second podium of the year. His first completely was also in Italy, back in Imola. So, yeah, great race for Dirksen. Yeah, Pepe Marti got points, and the Campos in 4th. Maloney, who starts on pole for the feature race with Crawford, Fittipaldi, and Bortoleto. Speaking of this, Bortoleto and Hauger tied on 8th. Both were tied. As you can see, the exact same time, 35 minutes, 50 seconds with 0.65. Both shared half a point. So Bortoleto from 9th from last to 8th gets half a point for his efforts. Imagine he loses the championship by half a point, or imagine he wins the championship by half a point. That would be something. And then obviously 2 new drivers for this weekend. You had Niels Coughlan replacing the Formula E bound Taylor Bernard. And then you had who finished last because he's terrible based on his results. And you had Oliver Goethe, who moved up from F3 to F2 to replace the LC F1 bound Franco Colapinto. Got taken out on the start-finish straight on the first lap of the race by Zach O'Sullivan, both of which out of the race. Not the debut who Goethe would have wanted. Didn't get much better really in the feature race either. In the feature race, you can see Gabriel Bortoleto, last to first, tick. I didn't even say that. That was the first challenge from Gabriel Bortoleto. Got lucky with the safety car. Definitely got massive. Wouldn't have won it without that. But hey, you do need your luck sometimes. And he got the bit of luck to win the feature race by pretty much 9 seconds in the end. So over 9 seconds. Over Zane Maloney started a pole. And is now within 10 points of the championship lead. So it's all looking good for Gabriel Bortoleto as he looks to try and get that kick Sauber seat for next season. And then you had Zane Maloney finishing in second for Ronan. Obviously starting a pole, finished second. Another podium that goes off here. Richard for sure, just like Bortoleto, got lucky with the safety car stalled on the formation lap. Ended up getting a podium in 3rd. So yeah, great result for him in the end. Andrea Kvyat home running in 4th. Was collected in the start melee of the sprint race. Joshua Dirksen, the rocket ship, was 5th, with Martins, Behrman, Rafael Villagomez scoring points for Van Amersfoort, along with Crawford and Fittipaldi completing the points. No points finished there for Van Amersfoort. Isaac Hadjar, championship leader, 11th. No points this weekend for Hadjar. 10th and 11th. Terrible weekend to forget for Hadjar. Then you had 3 retirements in the end. Juan Manuel Carrera retired after contact, I believe it was with Behrman. I must have broke the suspension. So yeah, not what he would have wanted. You then had who else? Oh, you had who was the other car? You had no, it wasn't him. No, who was it? Who was the other car? I'm forgetting. No, it wasn't. Why am I forgetting? Who was the second retirement? Dennis Hauger. Yeah, I completely forgot. Dennis Hauger retired after getting spun out by Mayata. Was also caught up in the lap 1 crash. There was the lap 1 crash today, which involved Paul Aaron once again. His bad luck continues. Punted out by Pepe Marti. Out of the race lap 1. Paul Aaron, no luck for him. Along with Hauger. Both out of the race along with O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan with Correa. Goethe got screwed by the safety car, which wasn't on the results anyway featured. So, yeah, not good for them. But in terms of the championship, Hadjar, within 10 points now ahead of Bortoleto. So, looks like it's Hadjar versus Bortoleto for the championship. For all to play for. With 3 rounds to go, Azerbaijan in a couple of weeks, so then we have a bit of a gap until the final 2 rounds in Qatar and Abu Dhabi. But all to play for Baku, though, that could favour Hadjar. Bortoleto has never raced there before. We're going to track that Bortoleto has never raced at. We've had no one's raced at Qatar. But hey, so maybe the advantage was right back to Hadjar. But with how Bortoleto's gone this year, wouldn't surprise me if he does something, if he ends up just winning the race just like that. Considering also last year, Baku, Behrman won both races, so this I don't think everyone wants to go because you're going to, you're going to have 2 guaranteed wins instead. P14 in a Haas. And I'm joking, Haas, because you might get a point actually in a Haas, because Haas is doing pretty well. Then we move on to F3, the final round of the season in Formula 3, and boy was it a drama full of classic, basically. Starting off with the sprint race, Tim Tramnitz getting his first win of the season in the MP Motorsport, also MP Motorsport's first win of the season. Light stuff like win. Not more you can say that. Great result for him. Santiago Ramos, first podium of the year for him in the Trident. The Mexican finally getting a good result in second. And Alex Dunn moved up to third after Montoya's penalty. Moved up to third to get a podium for MP Motorsport, double podium finish for MP Motorsport. Then you have Beganovic, Dino Beganovic in fourth, Sammy McToniff, Luke Browning was because of good points for him in terms of his championship at the time, with Mario Boyer in seventh, Leonardo Fornaroli, championship leader, getting eighth. Obviously, did get the bonus points as well for pole, with Gabriel Limini getting a couple of points in ninth. And Martino Stenchon gets the final point in 10th for High Tech after moving up to the point after Montoya's penalty. Lindblad, another bad race over in 12th. His terrible end of the season continued. And you had 6 retires at the end. Charlie Mertz retired on the final lap of contact. You had Joshua Dufek retired with some sort of mechanical issues. Peter Wojnicki and Max Heston colliding at the first chicane, 2/3 of the way through the race. And then you had Noel Leon and Nikita Bedrin retired early on at that same first chicane after Leon got putted up by his teammate Smith, and Bedrin, the innocent bystander. But yeah, going to the final race, we had a championship battle. 4 drivers mathematically could win the championship. Realistically, it was 3. Fornaroli versus Meany versus Browning. Browning take it out, well, took himself out actually early on in the race. He was gone. Lindblad was having a stinker. So it was guaranteed an Italian champion on Italian soil, and it came down to the final corner of the final lap of the race, although we don't talk about the post-race penalty, but it went down to the final corner nevertheless, and it was Leonardo Fornaroli, the championship leader, coming into this race, who came out on top in the end. But firstly, his teammates, Sammy McToniff, won the race, took the lead, didn't want to help the team, less points for me to take, dominate the race in the end, with Leonardo Fornaroli getting past Christian Bull. Gabriel Limini did finish second at the time. Going into the final quarter, Meany second, Mansell third, Fornaroli fourth, Meany on course to win the championship. And then Fornaroli dive bombs at the final quarter, gets past Mansell and win the championship. Meany eventually was disqualified, so it didn't really matter in the end. But in terms of actually the pictures of actually seeing Fornaroli win the championship, it didn't matter in that sense. But yeah, Fornaroli ended up to second, gets that podium, and becomes the first driver, who knows how long, to win a championship without winning a race. Mr. Consistent, 0 race wins, just consistent. He's like 6 or 7 podiums though this season, most of which were in the feature race, which went massively, and we've had Meany only won 1 race, which was at Monaco. But Fornaroli, absolutely consistent. As a result, wins the championship. That just sums up. Consistency is key compared to Arthur Lindblad, who won 4 races, didn't score points in the final 6 of them. So just sums up. Consistency means more than wins in this series. Second place at a podium for him to end his F3 campaign with a podium. Great way to end his season. And the 2024 World Champion. And for the 3rd year in a row, it's a Prema driver who hasn't won the championship. 22 with Martins, 23 was Bortoletto, and 24 Fornaroli. 2 years in a row as a Trident. You have to go back to Dennis Hauger in 2021 for it to be a Prema driver. So, yeah, pretty chaotic scenes. Christian Mansell ended his season with a podium in the ART. Good season then for him. Alex Dunn, P4, 3rd and 4th, great weekend for him. Martinez Stenchel, P5, great weekend for him. Top points finished. Tim Tramnitz ended up in 6th with Noel Leon, getting goal points in 7th. Lawrence Freupin went from 29th to 8th. Great result for him for a few points. Dino Beganovic, who launched up in the end, probably actually destroyed his back, ended up in 9th, getting a couple of points. And Joshua Dufek, in the final race of the season, gets his first points of the year. The track he made his debut this time last year, and he gets a point. So good race for him. A bunch of penalties. Luke Browning got a penalty for a couple of incidents. I did David Lindblad, a couple of championship contenders there. I said about Gabriel Limini's disqualification. He had 8 retirements in the end. Sums up the final race, to be honest. He had Callum Voisin taken out by Lindblad on the final lap. Noah Stromstead, who made his debut this weekend, replacing Oliver Goethe, had some sort of incident on the final lap, which we never saw. Don't know why. They just didn't want to show us. So he ended up retiring. Yeah, and Max Heston retired after contact with Noel Leon. Mario Boyer collided after contact with his teammate Montoya, which of course, again, we never saw. And then you had Peter Wojnicki, I think, retired with some sort of mechanical issues. And then you had the pile-up after, which was kind of caused by Browning, involving Keen Shields in the high-tech, Sophia Flourish in the Van Amersfoort, and Matthias Lacazette in the Genza. In Genza's final race, had 2 of their cars retire. Sums up their season, to be honest. And yeah, that concludes the F3 season. We say farewell to Genza. After the weekend, they are pulling out of F3, set to be replaced by Dams, focusing on the formula. And we say congratulations to Leonardo Fornaroli, the champion. And we'll see if anybody makes the step up to F2 before the end of the season, because it tends to happen. Especially, Roman Stanek, apparently his season's done now. He's not returning to F2 for the final 3 rounds. He might still show up in Baku, but the contract was up until Monza. Now with F3 finishing, I'll be surprised if one of these drivers ends up in a Trident. And, with Oliver Behrman potentially missing the round, you could potentially see a Gabriel Limini jump straight in to that team. Or an Arthur Lindblad or Dino Beganovic or someone jump into that car for the weekend. And obviously, AIX confirmed for the final 2 rounds. So watch this space. There's a lot to, don't expect, you know, some of these drivers, a couple of these drivers may still have a few more races to go in the F1 scene. So that is the Italian Grand Prix weekend done and dusted. So congratulations to Charles Leclerc on winning the Italian Grand Prix in Ferrari. We have Gary Bortoletto going from last to first and in F2, and Leonardo Ferrari winning the championship in F3 without even winning a single race this season. So that's it. Then back to the in a couple of weeks, F1 and F2. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, like that. Check out these videos here once you get the else of the channel, and subscribe right there, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.